Fine, you can leave the door. Jesus Christ. Basically, my experience with the Holy Spirit really started, if I'm not mistaken, 2016, 2017, about that time. And at the time, I had just moved out of my mum's house. And no, I didn't move out because I was a naughty girl. Thank you very much for them people watching this. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I bet she had to move out because she was a naughty girl. No, I went with my mother's actual blessing. So yeah, I just newly moved out, and I was just really depressed. I'm not even gonna lie, like, not depressed as in the way that a lot of the time we like to throw around the world, like words like, oh, I'm so depressed, like, no, like, I was genuinely on my last legs, and I was like, you know what, like, I really need help. And again, like I said, I had just moved out. I was so skint, guys, like, honestly, I didn't have no money like that. Like, you know, when you move out, you know, when you know you're moving out, I feel like the best way to do it is kind of like to gradually buy things instead of like buying things all at once. Oh my gosh, my pockets. Bearing in mind, I was working 3 days a week, if I'm not mistaken, at that time, making chicken change. Like, honestly, making chicken change. And me being me, I didn't want to ask for help either. So like, me asking my mum for money was not an option. It was not even a thought that crossed my mind, because I didn't want it to be like, no, like, I'm struggling. I don't want to hear that. Do you know what I mean? I think I don't want to hear that. So I was like, cool, I'm just gonna take this L. I'm just gonna do what I need to do, and that's gonna be it. But like, I was genuinely really just struggling. I was struggling like crazy, like, and I was emotionally unstable. So yeah, like, I just had a lot going on with me, and I was just like, oh, like, I'm always like one of them strong people. Everyone sees me and I think, oh my gosh, she's such a strong woman, like, but like, growing up, I was always like teased about my weight, and because I was really skinny. Like, back then there was no such thing as size 4 and size 6, do you know what I mean? It was straight size 8, and I didn't even fit into a size 8. And people that know me from back in the days, yeah, listen, they will tell you that I was really thin, and people will be like, oh my god, you're so mager, you're so skinny. I'm thinking, I know, you don't have to point it out. Like, I actually know, I can see myself. I look in the mirror daily, like, I know. So that in itself caused me to have a lot of like self-esteem issues, and yeah, just like, I didn't really have self-love like that, and I just struggled to see myself as beautiful, despite me knowing that I wasn't ugly. Like, me having that much kind of like belief, I guess, in myself, like, okay, I'm not an ugly girl. But then when people come and be like, oh, you're cute, but if you had a bit more weight on you, you'd be better. Listen, that was like a dagger to the chest, yeah, to the chest. And I just grew up always thinking, I'm so inadequate, do you know what I mean? Like, people are always like, but with me, do you know what I mean? It's always like a but. I'm thinking, why can't I just be accepted the way that I am? So I had a lot of things that I was battling with emotionally. That's just like the tip of the iceberg. Perhaps in another video I'll talk more about my depression, suicidal thoughts, what else, insomnia, all of the other things that I went through as well, and how I managed to get past that period of time. Like, it just wasn't a pleasant time, and I just felt so emotionally drained, and so spiritually drained, and physically drained, because, you know, I wasn't sleeping well enough anyway, do you know what I mean, and stuff. So I was just really at the end of, I was at the tipping point. And I was basically just saying to myself, do you know what, yeah, I literally can't afford to continue with this life, because if I continue like this, like literally, I'm gonna end up killing myself, or something's gonna kill me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of them ones where I was like, I was so dépassé, yeah. So I just got to the point of like, listen, me can't do this no more. Like literally, I was like, no man, bun this. Like, I'm actually out. I can't do this anymore. So I remember I had a really bad dream one night and everything, and I just woke up in a sweat, literally a pool of my own sweat, and I was just like, you know what? I've actually had enough. I don't want to live this life anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So I took a decision on that day. I really took a decision. I was like, you know what? I'm really going to look for God. I really need him to kind of like save me right now, because if I continue like this, I'm literally going to die. And I was like, no, I need to stand up for my life. I need to stand up and really fight for my life now. So at that point, like, I had been serving in church. Like, I've always served in church kind of thing, whatnot. But like, admittedly, I've always been one foot in, one foot out, do you know what I mean? So I'd still be like singing for God, whatnot, but like I still had a lot of fleshly desires, worldly desires rooted in me. So I was like serving two gods basically, and I was just going in between. So that in itself was very toxic, do you know what I mean? And that in itself left me with a lot of conviction, left me with a lot of if, buts or maybes, and left me feeling really low about myself, like I wasn't worthy to even be in God's presence, because I'm thinking like, wow, like I'm not even living my life the way that you want me to, the way that you've intended for me to live my life. Why do I even deserve for you to answer my prayers or to do anything for me? So a lot of the time, that is also another reason why I distanced myself a bit from God, because I felt like he was condemning me, like he was judging me, and that he didn't love me, and that, you know, all of these lies basically that the devil be telling us, do you know what I mean? So imagine I'd been serving for all these years and everything, but I still didn't know my word like that, and that was a tool that the enemy, even though I'm not even talking about this right now, but that was a tool that the enemy used to manipulate me and to stop me from being in God's presence. So I started praying, and not even that, I got on my knees, and I put on some music. I remember going onto YouTube, and I was literally typed in gospel music, because growing up in a Congolese church, yeah, all I knew was Alleluia Papa, Kolonanga, yes. I didn't know about the whole like English songs like that, you know what I mean? I knew a few hill songs here and there, but I wasn't really in the loop when it came to like gospel music that wasn't Congolese basically, do you know what I mean? So I literally just typed it in, and I was just scrolling, and there was a song title that just stood out to me, and it is by William McDowell, whatever way you want to say it, and it was Withholding Nothing. And that is like literally, even now when I listen to that song, it still hits me like that first time, because of the words behind it. And it's what I say about music, yeah, about worship, and this is why I love worship, and hold out all my worshippers, my ministers, my people who are part of praise teams, and so on and so forth. Hold out all of you people, because listen, it's not an easy job at all. But what I loved about worship, or what I loved about this song in particular, is how he managed to make me believe in his words. Do you know what I mean? There was such a connection between him and the words that he was saying, confessing before God. The love that he was showing through the words was too much for me. Do you know what I mean? And when I was listening to him sing, I felt every word that he was singing, do you know what I mean? This guy is completely and utterly smitten for God. Like, he is so intertwined with his God. Like, this is real music. And I was like, wow, this is probably the difference between what I'm doing and what these other people are doing, because these are people who are committed. They've given their life to Christ at the end of the day. And if, like, I don't know, in my services or our services, if God was coming down, it was by his mercy, I guess. And I guess he was looking at a small bit of me, like, oh my gosh, like she does have love for me, let me just nasungaye, do you know what I mean? But the difference in between a true worshipper and what I was doing, I was like, bro, I really do need to give my life to God. But anyway, so I turned the song on, obviously he's just singing. And when he just said I was like, like my heart just chivundo happened, do you know what I mean? Like an absolute earthquake erupted in my chest, and I was like, oh my gosh, like God, like this is just the song I've been looking for. I'm really here giving you the whole of me, like withholding nothing. I've tried the world, I've tried friends, I've tried boyfriends, I've tried whatever kind of method you could possibly think about to feel whole, but I still feel so broken, and I still feel so detached. I feel so discombobulated. You must be the solution. You must be the thing that won't make me feel empty anymore. It must be found in you. You have to be the you have to be what I've been looking for all of these years. And I just started praying and praying and praying, and I was in tears, and I was literally like, I don't know, I was so filled with a genuine vulnerability before God for the first time ever. I think that's the first time I've been proper vulnerable before God. Like, look, I'm here. This is I don't know, this is me basically, do you know what I mean? Good, bad and ugly, and I'm in need of you. And after this, what happened was like an eruption, do you know what I mean? So I felt, not even an eruption, it was like thunder in my ears. And that's just how I can describe it, a thunder sound in my ears. And I felt this overwhelming presence in my room that wasn't in its wholeness, if that makes sense. This was just one way that I felt that I had encountered the Holy Spirit. So that thunder sound was in my ears, and all of a sudden I heard a voice. And you know, you're thinking, hold on a second, I'm pretty sure, like, I ain't with nobody else in this house. Who is that speaking? And I realized that it was the voice of God that was speaking to me, and he gave me directions of what to do. And my instructions were water, oil and salt. And one day I